What's up, Nexus fam? Welcome back to another episode of the Nexus Podcast. And the question that I have for you on this episode of the podcast is that it? Is this it? Is this all that our lives were meant to be? And this question comes from a place of some of my frustration, if you will, about the state in which I see so many people, so many parents, so many kids, so many doctors operate from when they look at their lives and they say that, like, this is all it's ever going to be. It's just the way it is. Like, my kid's not going to grow out of it. We're just stuck here. Or that's just the way my job is and I can never change it. Or that's the way my relationship is and we can never change it. Or that's the way my physical body is and we can never change it. Or that's what the doctors told me about my kid. And it is what it is, right? And the reality is, like, it's not just is what it is. It is what you make it and what you choose to make it. And so often, like, there's this frustration within me that I just ask the question, and I'm really starting to think about it for myself too, is like, is this all? Like, is this all my life was destined to be? Is this all that God had in store for me? Because if you're anything like me and you're religious in any sense of the word, I would encourage you that God has more for you inside of your life than what you can even fathom or think about on your own. And when I say this, I mean this wholeheartedly, is that I think there are greater things waiting for you, but you just have to take a certain set of steps in order to get there. And so often, I feel like we as human beings and we as people and parents and, business owners and all the labels and all the hats that we try to put on ourselves, oftentimes we just disempower ourselves with this thought process of like, this is it. Like, this is all it's going to be. My shoulder is never going to get better. I'm never going to be able to reach my arm up to be able to lift another weight. Or I'm never going to be able to carry around my new daughter who's less than 3 months old around my house. Or I'm never going to be able to play golf again. Or I'm never going to be able to play football again. Or I'm never going to be able to go swimming again. Or my kid's never going to talk. Or my kid's never going to talk again. They used to talk, but now they can't. Or their seizures are never going to go away. Or they're always going to have that autism diagnosis. Or they're always going to have ADHD. Like, I hear all these things. And my question for you and for the parents and the people struggling and suffering is like, is that it? Is that it? And the reason that I ask the question is because my answer is the definitive no. Like, what I know and what I have seen and what I have learned about and what I have researched over the course of the last 12 years of my life is that every single one of us, I don't care who you are, where you're from, what color your skin is, what your background is, what your sexual orientation is, like, that stuff doesn't matter. You and I and every other person that you could look around and point to and see has the exact same potential to be healthy, to be successful. And this comes down to this idea of a vitalistic lifestyle, a vitalistic principled lifestyle, which means, for those of you listening who haven't heard this idea of a vitalistic lifestyle before, vitalism simply means this. It means we understand that the body is self-regulating, self-maintaining, and self-healing. I'm going to say that one more time. Vitalism is this idea that the body is self-regulating, self-maintaining, and self-healing. Meaning that everything that is within you, like, you don't need anything else. You already have everything inside of you to be healthy, to be successful, to express life full out, to enjoy life, to have better sleep, to feel more empowered, to have better sex, to have better relationships, to make more money, to be more productive, to be more present, to have more love, to give more love, to receive, like, all the things that God set up for you to have inside of your life. It's possible. Like, it's all possible for you, but what most people don't realize is, like, they just tell themselves the excuse of this is it. Like, and my question is that really it? And what I've seen through the thousands of people that I've worked with over the course of the last 5.5, almost 6 years now, is that the people who choose to do one important thing are the people who start to experience a level of life where they say, oh, that actually wasn't it. That's not all it was going to be for me and my kids and for the medication that I told I'd be on for the rest of my life, or the cancer I was told that I would have for the rest of my life, or the issue that I would deal with for the rest of my life, or the issue that I'd be dealing with for 40 years. I just never knew to make a decision that would actually allow me to get to a place that would allow me to function and operate differently at a higher level, because no one ever told me the truth. No one ever told me the truth that my body knows how to heal itself. No one ever told me that I'm not broken. No one ever told me that I could actually live a different lifestyle that would be radically different because of the decisions that I make with my health. I get so fired up about this concept because what I know to be true is that you sitting here, listening, watching, whatever it is that you're doing, you have the same potential to be successful, to have the things in life that you want to have, that other people told you that you can't have, as anybody else that you see and you look up to. And the only reason that you do not have them is from one place and one place only, and it's neurological function. It's the way that your brain is functioning. Because what we know is that your brain is responsible for your success. Your brain is your connection to life. If you do not have a brain, you cannot live. If you have a weakened brain that is weakened through stress hormones and neurological dysfunction, then you will express less than 100% life, which is this whole idea of the body, let's say, principle. The body is self-healing, the body is self-maintaining, the body is self-regulating. Like, we need nothing from the outside. All you need is you, and you need to be in a place that is crystal clear, be in a place that is able to process stress. Now the question then becomes, is like, if we're self-healing, self-regulating, self-maintaining, then why, Dr. Daniel, do I have pain? Why, Dr. Daniel, does my kid have an ADD diagnosis? Why, Dr. Daniel, does my kid have autism? Why, Dr. Daniel, can my kid not sleep at night? Why, Dr. Daniel, does my daughter have difficulty latching and nursing and breastfeeding? Why, Dr. Daniel, do I have constipation issues? Why, Dr. Daniel, does my husband have prostate issues? Why, Dr. Daniel, did I have breast cancer at 24 years old? And the answer to that question is because all of those things that I just listed are literally your body's natural response to an abnormal amount of stress in the nervous system. Crazy thought. Think about this for a second. If you have pain, if you have skin issues, if you have cancer, if you have digestive issues, if you have teeth issues, these are your body's natural responses, normal responses to an abnormal amount of stress in your nervous system. Because what we know is that your body cannot be in fight or flight, which is the stressed out state of the nervous system, and in rest and digest at the same time, which is the healing branch of the nervous system. Your body can't be in both at the same time. Every time you were designed to have a stress, you were designed to get up and fight or run away. Your body releases stress hormones to allow you to get up and to fight that thing that is attacking you. Imagine you're a caveman, I'm a caveman, and there's something attacking you in the woods. You either need to be able to fight and run away from it, or you need to be able to realize that, like, okay, I can kill this thing, I can get away from it, I feel safe. And both of those, fighting and running away, require lots of movement. Movement is key. But now in today's society, we do not move, we do not fight, we do not run away every time we have a stress, and the body goes into a protective state. It continues to dump stress hormones into the system, and you stay in the fight or flight state, which is a breakdown state. Fight or flight increases our heart rate, increases our blood pressure, increases our cholesterol levels, bad cholesterol levels specifically. It increases our inflammation. It turns off our immune system. It turns off our testosterone. It turns off all of our sexual organs. It turns off our digestive system. It turns off our growth hormone. And like, the list could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about all the negative things that a fight or flight response long term does to our system. And so why do I get so passionate about this idea that people know how to heal, that our bodies are self-healing, self-regulating, self-maintaining? Because what I know is that when we get joints of the spine moving again, fighting and running away requires lots of movement. When we get joints of the spine moving again, we will literally wake up the brain, we will take it out of that stressed out state, and the body will go back into a healing state, and it will start to heal itself at a more deeper level. It will start to balance and regulate itself at a deeper level, and will start to maintain itself at a deeper level. But it cannot do it in a fight or flight state. And so when we ask this question of, is that it? If you live in a fight or flight state all of your life, yes, this is unfortunately going to be it. You'll continue to decay, you'll continue to fall apart, but the reality is like, I sit and I look at myself, and people told me, they're like, 30s are the best it's gonna get, and it just gets downhill from there. But I sit here and I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, literally the best energy I've ever had at 38 years old. I have the best physical looking body I've ever had at 38 years old. I have the best mindset I've ever had at 38 years old. I have the best business I've ever had at 38 years old. Like, in my life is an example, and it's not to brag about me, but it's to tell you that, like, when you do a certain series of things, living a vitalistic lifestyle, understanding that the body is self-healing, self-regulating, self-maintaining, you start to see that it's not it. Like, decaying at 30 years old is not it. And I've seen this so many times inside of my life when, you know, people show up and they're like, this is it, it's just going to be this way forever. And then they're playing the best rounds of golf they've ever had in their life. They're having the best sex life they've ever had in their life. They're having the best relationship with their wife and with their kids that they've ever had in their life. Like, all these things I see on a daily basis. And it's a result of one thing and one thing only. It's addressing stress stuck on in the nervous system. It's allowing someone to literally get the joints of their spine moving again through the specific adjustments that we do so that we can wake up the brain and take the brain out of that fight or flight or stressed out state. The body is a self-healing, self-regulating, self-maintaining system. So my friends, my question for you is this, are you sitting here telling yourself that this is it, that's all it's ever going to be, or are you willing to do something different? Are you willing to try something different? Are you willing to take a risk that you may not have taken before? Are you willing to push yourself a little bit further? Maybe step outside of your comfort zone. I know so many people who are like, I thought chiropractors were quacks. I thought chiropractic care was just about neck pain and back pain. And then what I realized is that it's actually not about neck pain and back pain at all. It's really about this idea of having the brain healing at the highest level possible, having the brain heal in such a way that we turn off the stress response, that we turn on healing, because the brain controls every single thing that happens in the body. And the reality is like, it's only it if you tell yourself that it's it. It's only it if you give up on yourself. Because the reality is like God put the gift of healing inside of you, inside of me, inside of my daughter, inside of your kids, inside of your spouse, inside of your family members, your grandparents and your great-grandparents. Like, we all have the gift of healing. We've all been given it. No one took it from us. No one could ever take it from us. It's our time to reclaim it back. No doctor can fix you. No doctor can heal you. I tell people all the time, I don't fix people with the adjustments that we do. I can't fix you because I'm not smarter than your body. Nobody is smarter than my own body. Like, it's just a reality. My body is processing trillions of bits of information every single minute, and I hardly think about any of them as I'm sitting here. My body's constantly regulating its temperature, it's regulating its blood sugar levels, it's regulating acidity, it's breaking down some bone, it's building up other bone, it's firing some muscles, it's turning off other muscles. I don't think about all this stuff, it just happens. Because our bodies are so complex, like God designed us this way. And the way that we heal is to get ourselves out of a fight or flight state and into a rest and digest state. The way that we thrive is to get ourselves out of a fight or flight state and into a rest and digest state. And the only way to do that, you can't meditate your way out of it. Yes, meditation's great. You can't sleep your way out of it and take your melatonin and your magnesium the way out of it. Yes, those things are great. You can't just nutrition your way out of it or supplement your way out of it or exercise your way out of it, because once the body gets stuck in a stressed out state, there's only one thing, a specific movement of the joints of the spine that will allow the brain to wake up. And this is why I get so passionate about chiropractic care, because I've seen the lives change. I've seen moms sleep better. I've seen kids stop screaming at their parents. I've seen kids stop running away. I've seen kids start reading. I've seen people who had been told they'd never walk again start to walk again. I've seen people who told they would never play golf again. Like, we see miracles happen in our office every day. Why? Because you are the miracle. Like, the person, you literally, whoever you are, listening, wherever you are, sitting, watching, whatever it is, you're the miracle. It's already inside of you. But you have to do some things to allow access to it. So my friends, I ask you again, is that it? Is that it for you? Are you going to settle? Are you going to step up? Are you going to rise? Be a beacon of hope, be a beacon of light for every single person that you encounter every step of the way. My friends, I love you. I appreciate you so, so much. If you got some value out of this, if you could do me one of two things: one, leave a rating, and two, leave a review. You can subscribe on YouTube. And again, I will come at you again next week. Peace.